So why is this the best diesel truck that you didn't even know you needed to buy? This is Landon. Landon, what is this truck?
This is a 2006 Ford F-250. It's got the 6.0 PowerStroke in it. It's got about 145,000 miles on it.
What do you think this truck's worth on the open market today?
$12,000?
$12,000. Guys, this is a heck of a lot of truck for 12 grand. Come check out what you get for $12,000 in a Ford. I'm a Cummins fanboy, and I'm impressed with what you can buy for 12 grand. Leather interior, no rust, Super Duty badging.
My dad bought this truck in 2009. It's a 2006. He owned it up until about 2018 when he passed away. Washed it every Friday. Had a subscription to a car wash service. It was down there every Friday or Saturday getting it washed up. Took really good care of the inside and out. It almost looks like brand new still.
So this truck's sentimental to Landon, but it's also a super clean truck. His dad took good care of it. So we had a little giveaway a month ago, and it was called the More Power Makeover, and Landon won. So he's getting a whole bunch of performance upgrades on us, about $10,000 worth of parts that we're putting in this. We've got some great industry partners that are helping us. This truck is gonna be totally transformed. So we're gonna do a before dyno run, see what this thing makes stock, and we're gonna turn up the power and send Landon on his way with his More Power Makeover. It's kind of like Pimp Your Ride.
Yeah.
The last giveaway winner, Josh, his truck is still here. He hasn't even shipped it back to Tennessee. Let's see what you get for about, what, 15,000 is what this truck would sell for, this second gen? Look at what you get in a clapped out second gen Dodge for 15 grand. Mismatched hood, raw paint, sport bumper swap. You've got some meats, obviously. You gotta have a little stance. But I mean, look at this thing. There's a little bit of rust. Second gen seat problems. You don't have that on the Ford. They had a little wear on the leather, but none of that. Look at this carpet. What do you think this carpet's hiding under the dash? What's under the carpet? Do you see this dash? Second gen problems. Don't get me wrong, this truck makes 1,000 horsepower. I'd love to own this and daily drive it. But as far as the truck wrapper, if you get rid of the engine and transmission combination, Ford is a way better buy. Let's look at this. No cracks on the dash. Everything works, it's clean. Doors shut nice, it's still got rubber seals. The truth of the matter is you can get the highest trim level Ford in pristine condition for less money than a second gen Dodge. That's why this is the best hot rod truck you didn't know you needed to buy. Oh, that's scarified. A lot of tubes and pipes. Now, there's definitely not the engine bay space for activities under here. Like, you're a little limited on turbos. However, I do know that Power Driven's coming out with a compound turbo kit for these there. You can actually fit another turbo under the hood. So it is possible to make these pretty powerful. But still, clean, clean, clean. Look under this hood here. All right, I guess this engine bay looks pretty good. I forgot we put a bunch of money under the hood. Never mind, don't worry about the engine bay difference. This one's already been pimped, so. Look at this, dude, freaking Aggressor turbo. So Landon, real quick, are you excited to have something like this under your hood?
Yeah.
Do you want a Cummins swap, or do you want us to make the Ford fast?
I want the Ford fast.
All right, we're gonna make the Ford fast. Follow along. So guys, we gotta compare the sound difference between a Cummins and a 6.0 PowerStroke, because part of what truck's better is which one sounds better when you start it. So, now this is a built one, so it's gonna sound a little different. I guess we have a little bit of a battery drain issue.
You want me to start it?
Yeah. I mean, is the AC turn on by itself too, so now the truck's cooling off?
Yeah, it's on right now. Got a temperature gauge on it.
All right, so this Dodge has been parked for 2 weeks, and apparently it's got a battery drain from the stereo or something. So we're actually gonna have to use the Ford to jump start it, which is very embarrassing for me. I'm a Cummins guy, but it's not my truck, you know. You ready? We're gonna start.
All right, I have this 2006 Cherry Ford PowerStroke strapped to the dyno because I want to know what this thing does before we put on the parts. I want a before and after comparison. So I'm going to run this thing right now, see what it does. Then I'm going to put all the awesome parts on, put it back in the dyno, and see the difference. Okay guys, it's hard to dyno a stock truck because they downshift have an overdrive, it's just hard. So what I did is a quarter-mile run from a dead stop so we can compare before and after. And I did a pull and tow haul mode, which let me do a locked run in 4th gear. So let's look at the numbers here real quick. The torque in this run is not accurate because it was not calibrated in this gear, but the horsepower should be pretty good. So this truck makes 338 horsepower to the ground, which is pretty decent, but it's actually really good because it's supposed to be 325 to the crank. So there's been something done to this somewhere along the way, which it has head studs, so I'm not too surprised. So something was done to this, but we're starting with 338 horsepower. And again, this torque is not right. Don't worry about that 765 because it's not accurate. Let's go back to the quarter-mile run so we can see that real quick. Meyer! What? It's not just so I push back, it's not there. Okay, so this is the quarter-mile run. I started a dead stop, I wasn't boost braking, I literally just floored it from idle. And it took us 18.75 seconds to get this guy through the quarter mile. Peak horsepower is 323, which is pretty close to 338, but again, there's shift spikes and all kinds of stuff going on, so I don't look too much at that. Mostly, I'm just curious how fast it will go through the quarter mile once we're done with our modifications. So, it's time to put the fun parts on this truck. We've got an awesome upgraded KC turbo to put on this guy. We have Warren diesel injectors, an SCT tuner with tunes from Gearhead Performance. We've got an air dog for this guy. So this truck is going to run a lot better when we're done. So let's go ahead and get started, put some awesome parts in this thing, and make it rip.
Guys, this is my favorite engine in the world. This is the 6.0 PowerStroke. These things run on the top end like a blown big block gasser, which is what I love. Blown big blocks, all right? And this is a big block Ford diesel, 6-liter PowerStroke. Got Warren injectors, got a KC turbo. This thing's gonna rip. It's got some Will Terry, power-driven, ported 6.0 heads in it. You know it's gonna run. It's got our valve springs. It's got our push rods in there. It's got this O-Dog intake that's just going to flow all the air, the gearhead tuning. I mean, thank goodness there's an MBRP exhaust to get everything out the tailpipe. Let's get this cab down and get this thing back on the dyno. We've got the Ford back on the dyno. This is the first time I've dynoed a Ford, so we'll see how it goes. Hoping for 500 plus. Let's see what it does. Hey guys, it's September. That means we're giving away turbos, compound turbos, fuel injectors, all kinds of stuff. So head on over to powerdrivendiesel.com. Lots and lots of products are hugely discounted this month, and maybe you can win yourself a turbo. When that boot blew, it scared the crap out of me. That dog will not hunt. Well, she'd heat soaked a little bit. 548, even with the blown boot. I'm impressed. That's a good power number. Look at that curve. That's one thing I did notice these Fords do different than the Cummins. Cummins spike and make a lot of torque early, and they're there, and it's something about the way the fuel injection system or something works on these Fords. They just kind of carry and go. They don't really peak and come down. Even you go by RPM here. We only went to 2,600 RPM, so there's that. It's
both sides.
It blew both sides. Same number.
Dude, that's a good number though. We just need to bead roll that pipe and...
So we had trouble blowing boots on the dyno, and Meyer and I pulled out the Vibrant bead roller which has been a trooper for like 5 years. And we rolled a bead in there. My arm's tired. I was practicing my shifting for World Finals. I don't even know if I'm making it there, but I still had to practice my shifting. And we're done. All right, so what I've done is I've overlaid our horsepower run here with the before we did the mods. Now, this lighter green line, that's the before. This heavier line is our current one. As you can see now, when Todd did it, he was kind of fighting some weird shifting issues, so there's a couple little spikes, but you kind of get a good power curve right in here around 80 to 85 miles per hour. And the old engine was making approximately 338 horsepower there, and this one's making 528 there at that same window. Then because the bigger turbo, the tuning, the fuel injectors, the ported heads, all that, this carries better. And you can see it carries up there, you know, up over 90 miles an hour, makes peak power up there quite a bit higher. You do it by RPM, you know, it's making peak power about 3,600 RPM. So this truck runs really good on the top end, and the bottom end is very similar to stock, not really much difference there. So nice gains. This would be a great hot rod. I think you go out on the street and do boosted launch and four-wheel drive, I think you'd surprise a lot of people in a stoplight race. Or if you're pulling your trailer up the mountain, it's going to get it there a lot faster.